I take it really seriously that I'm responsible for leading my family. I'm responsible for leading my company. I have a couple other businesses that I'm a part of. I have a team that I coach. Like all of these things require all of me. And if I'm not keeping the commitments to myself, I'm not going to keep my commitments to them. So it's a game changer. It really is. And I feel like I've been more present with all of those things. Perfect? No. Present? Yes.
This is Super SaaS Bros with Corey and Jade. Let's jump in. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Super SaaS Bros. We are your hosts, Corey and Jade Silva. Today, we are joined by an amazing guest. He's a husband, father, and entrepreneur. He's led multiple organizations, and for the last 6 years, he's been the CEO of Engage.io, a sales enablement platform helping teams create interactive presentations that actually close deals and help sales teams. Everyone, this is Dean Curtis. Dean, welcome to our podcast, man.
Wow, man. Thanks so much, Corey, Jade. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Man, of course. I want to so usually we actually start up with like a scenario for our guests, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. And I want to talk about like the recent post that I just saw, and I saw that Dan Martel also reposted this as well too. You just did 365 days of hitting your sweat every day goal. So one, congratulations on that. You didn't miss.
My man.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what did you learn about that in the 365 days? Like, did it expose something about you that you didn't really expect? Because it's a big feat to do it for a year straight.
So I'm a guy that I try to do things pretty consistently, right? But if you look in your life and you're like, well, what do I do consistently? You're like, well, I wake up every day, go to bed every day, everything in between might not always happen, right? And as part of my coaching program with Dan, so I'm part of Dan Martel's quantum coaching program, he teaches us the idea of daily non-negotiables. And there's one of them is to sweat every day. And I was doing it really, really well. But there were days that I would wake up and I just wouldn't feel like it. I'm like, I could take today off. It's no big deal. I don't feel like it. So I stopped doing that, because when I would not work out, it wasn't like this thing where I have this obsession with working out. It was that I failed to fulfill the commitment I made to myself.
Right.
So what it did is it showed me how much of my energy was negotiable.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right. So I used to think motivation came first and action then followed. And this really flipped that. On days when I didn't feel like working out, I just moved my body, and it changed my mindset. It changed my state really quickly. And what surprised me the most really was how it carried into the rest of my day, because I'm a morning workout guy. And I became more consistent with how I showed up for people, because I showed up for myself first thing in the morning. Right. So that discipline didn't give me motivation. It gave me emotional control of knowing that I'm in control of what I do.
Got it. And so now you're showing up for yourself every day. You're starting your day off on the track where it's like, here are the commitments that I make to myself. And now I'm confident in the type of person that I say that I am going to be for the rest of the day. And so now you're saying it translates into other points of your day. How have you found the previous year versus this year into how you show up for your kids, your wife, your family, your business? Talk to me about that.
Wow. All of them at once?
All of them at once.
I have 4 kids, so it's a challenge always to ensure I have a tracker. Embarrassingly enough, I have a tracker to know, did I actually touch base with each of my kids during the week? Because my kids are older. I know, Corey, congrats. You're celebrating the 1 year.
Yeah.
With your kids. My youngest is 15, so I have 23 to 15.
Wow.
And it's a matter of really being intentional about all of these things. And, you could say, this whole sweat every day thing. It's really about intentionality with my actions. Am I wasting time in ways that really isn't serving me or serving the people who I'm responsible for leading? Right. And I take it really seriously that I'm responsible for leading my family. I'm responsible for leading my company. I have a couple other businesses that I'm a part of. I have a team that I coach. Like all of these things require all of me. And if I'm not keeping the commitments to myself, I'm not going to keep my commitments to them. So it's a game changer. It really is. And I feel like I've been more present with all of those things. Perfect? No. Present? Yes.
That's amazing. It's interesting because when I think about it, I think I used to have a mindset of like taking care of myself first almost felt selfish, right? And maybe I thought that also other people thought that too. But I also now have the same, like a similar mindset. It's like you need to take care of yourself first to show up best for everyone else. It's not about being selfish. It's about like how can I be the best version of myself for everyone else around me, family, business, everyone included, right?
Totally.
Did you ever have that similar mindset before, like
Oh
years
yeah.
ago or anything like that? Yeah.
Well, because there were times where I would be working out or I'd be doing something. It doesn't even like get off the workout thing. I'd be working and I'm giving up time that I could be spending with my kids
Right.
because I got to get that one more thing out or that one more thing done. And I think this journey over the last, it's been really 2 years. I've locked in December 10th of 2024 on the workout thing, but all of this is shifting the mindset of that thing over there can wait because my priority over here has to take precedent. I read a really good book by Andy Stanley one time. It used to be called Choosing to Cheat, and they changed it because it's a Christian book and it's about when work and life collide. And there's times in your life where you have to cheat on one to give to the other. And the word is cheat, and it sounds terrible, but the reality is you do have to over-index energy in one place, and that will give you less energy for places another, for other places in your life. Just be aware of it.
Yeah.
Know that you're doing it. Because if you're not aware of it, and so you can say, hey guys, I'm not showing up 100% right now. And I've literally apologized to my kids for not being the dad that they needed. They look at me like I'm crazy sometimes, and maybe they'll watch this and be like, no, you were, but at the same time, if you can just recognize what's true and what's not true and be honest with yourself, I think that's half the battle.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that we both have tried was 75 Hard, which we both completed. I did mine a few years ago, and I think Corey did his last year. And man, 75 days of just like working out I know it was two workouts every single day. Obviously, the daily non-negotiables, I would assume maybe a lighter version of that, but
Yeah,
still, like 75 days was crazy. And so I remember on the 76th day, I was like, man, this just feels so routine now. It just feels like it almost feels hard to not work out or drink a gallon of water. And then I feel like I'm cheating on myself. And then I feel responsible for not having, I guess the best version of myself trickling down to other parts of my life. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because you doing this 365 days a year, now that you're on this streak, is obviously you've adopted this lifestyle, right?
totally.
So, what would you say to the people, even I guess to myself, because some days I struggle where like, man, like I've gone to the gym maybe four days this week, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a day off. I don't need to like sweat today. What would you say to me? What would you say to these people that feel like they deserve a break? I'll call it a break.
Yeah, I think you have to remember the goal is not about the goal. The goal is about the person you are becoming as a result of doing the thing.
The journey.
So I want to be fit Dean.
Hmm.
If I'm going to do that, I need to commit to this consistent daily routine of fitness and nutrition. It's non-negotiable. Not because I'm obsessed with working out, but because I want to be the person that's there for my grandkids. I want to be the person who's there for my wife. I want to be the person who's healthy and able to come to work every day and give everything I have and play all out. Like that's what it's about. It
Right.
has nothing to do with the streak of going to the gym or the
Totally.
streak of, making sure I've read 10 pages. Like, yes, all those things are important, but they're about who I'm becoming. That's more important.
Yeah.
It is super important. I want to reflect a little bit on, Jade, you brought up 75 hard and stuff like that. And to me, that set the baseline for actually like the daily non-negotiables as well. Like I followed those for a while too and continue to do so actually. But I'm curious if you ran into a similar situation through these 365 days. I found when I was like just at my home base, like I had my routine, it was very easy to have these habits. Travel a lot. And one thing I noticed, especially if I was traveling with like my family, they were so confused. Super confused. They're like, why do you have to go work out right now? Like we're on vacation or something like that. I'm like, it was just what I need to do, right? And so I would do it, but it's funny because that was during 75 hard. I still do it now, even like during vacation. To me, part of a vacation, working out is actually like a joy, so I don't mind it. But now they don't question me, so it's hilarious how sometimes you don't really need that support from them directly. They actually might be more confused than anything else, and they understand it much later. Did you go through any of that yourself as well?
Yeah, I think one of the things to remember is no one has to change for you to win.
Totally. Yes.
All right, so that's the first thing. And the second thing is you want them to buy into your goals, but it's not a requirement. So I want my wife to support me. I want my kids to see this as something that is important and understand that it's important to me. What I found is over time, they got it. It just may not be on the time frame that you or I expect, but
Yeah.
eventually they're like, because also, how many times have you done that and not followed through? So they've seen the other side that says, this is just a phase, it's not going to last.
Mm,
So they've
yeah.
seen you quit on it before. I'm not saying, Corey, that you have, but
Yeah.
I did many times, right?
Yeah.
I'm on the path, and then now I'm off the path. So, they've seen the other side of it. So you're proving them a new thing is possible.
Yeah. And so my coach, one of the things that he talks a lot about is your daily minimums, right? Like no
Mhm.
matter how hard life gets and throws things at you, you set your daily minimums, daily requirements, essentially, right? If you're reading 10 pages a day, or if you're working out every day, maybe you're not doing 7 exercises. Maybe you only go there for 3 exercises. Maybe if you're reading 10 pages, maybe it is 10 pages, maybe it's five, whatever it is. Then I think it's like, and it kind of goes back to Corey with the traveling too, is like maybe you get so busy with traveling, maybe you get so busy with X, Y, and Z, but you tend to subconscious, this is something that I've learned, is like I tend to subconsciously think like if I'm not, you've ever seen that photo of like you have like seven cups in a row, some are like half full, some are fully full, some are like not full enough, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I think like subconsciously I've always thought like I have to give everything 100%, otherwise I feel kind of guilty. Like there are days I'm at the gym and I'm so stressed with work, I'm like I can't give it my all. Like I have to go, I have to leave early, I got to get back to work. During your 365 days of doing this, how have you navigated, or if you have even navigated things like that?
Oh my God, of course, right? Progress. I was, as you were saying that, I was actually visualizing in my head the graph of everything. All right, nerding out a little bit.
Let's
I
do it.
wrote an app. I vibe coded. I was really interested in AI, so I vibe coded an app to track my streak.
Yeah, we'll dive
And
into that.
every day at the end of the workout, I rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, and you can see my effort. So my effort some days was a 10, but a lot of days it was a 5 because I'm like, I've just got to get this done because I know it's important to get done. And if you were to graph that throughout 365 days, it is not a flat line. It is
Hmm.
actually, all over the place because some days you can show up and some days you can't. But the fact that you did it and you check the box, and I have this thing on Instagram where I literally post every day what the workout was and I put dues paid. If I don't pay the dues, if I don't check the box, it doesn't make it. I want to make sure I committed, followed through on that commitment to myself, no matter what the effort level is. And it's crazy. Ever since I posted on, I guess it was Tuesday or Wednesday of this week,
Yeah.
I have not felt like getting out of bed in the morning. It's like all the world is coming against me to say, "Oh, you posted, great. Now you made this publicly aware. Now I'm going to make sure you don't feel like getting up, whether I'm coming down with an illness or just tired or whatever it is." It's just amazing. And I'm like, nope, I am fighting through this because the person I want to be is out there in the future, and this is the commitment I'm making to myself.
That's really funny that I don't know if it's the universe or your subconscious is just
It's
telling
crazy.
you, yeah, you know what? Let's make this just a little bit
A
harder.
little harder, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's
Well,
make
you
it an
think you're
extra
so cool
65.
posting on your LinkedIn and Instagram that you did this? I'll show you. I'll
Yeah,
show
you want the
Show you
accolades?
what
This is
hard
what
looks
comes with
like.
it.
Yeah.
exactly.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
I can't move past. But you said you love AI and you vibe coded. Obviously, we're a tech podcast, so like I feel like I have to like dive into that a little bit.
Totally.
Okay, first of all, what's your go-to vibe coding tool if you like to vibe code? I'm always interested.
I mean, I don't, maybe it doesn't count, but I made the apps unlovable. So
Nice.
using it just to try. I was just like, everybody talks about it. I'm not an engineer. I have good skills from a long time ago, way out of date. So I was like, all right, let me try this. I understand software and technology because I'm a CEO of a tech company. I was a system engineer growing up. So I know what tech is. I know what questions to ask. I know how to explain what I want in software. I just don't know how to write the bits and the bytes. So
Right.
Lovable has been my platform that I've been working on.
Nice. And if I'm curious now, so let's talk a little bit then about like Engage as well. Like I feel like we mentioned at the
Sure.
beginning, let's dive into it a little bit. So one, can you explain to the audience for people that maybe are a little unfamiliar, like how is Engage solving, the problem that you're solving better than I would say like traditional like decks and static
PowerPoints.
sales content and all that
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
jazz. And how are
So
you using AI to help potentially?
yeah, totally. So just in general, what we've created is a platform that helps you create amazing, interactive, professional presentation content, sales content. I almost don't want to use the word presentation because most people, when they think of presentation, is I go here and here and here and here and here, and it's very linear. The sales process is not linear. When you're talking to someone in the sales process, it can go any which way, and you want to have content that allows you to respond to the prospect in the moment, to move wherever you happen to have the right content to answer their question or educate them. And then we also provide all the tools to make sure everyone in the sales team has everything that they need when they need it, downloaded offline, so they have no problem presenting if they go to someone's home and all of a sudden there's no internet connection. Still happens in the world. We make sure they have that. And then most importantly, we're collecting analytics about all of what someone does in the content. So we can tell the sales leadership, hey, you trained on the content to be used in this way. Yes, people are doing it. No, they're not doing it. Or, Corey's actually closing at a 10% higher rate than Jade, sorry, and he's doing it a little bit different. How can we learn from what he's doing in order to educate the sales team so we can up-level everyone? So it's the measurement side, creating great content, sharing it with people, measuring how they use it so that you can make good decisions on upgrading the content and training the team. So that's what we do. AI is a part of what we do. I mean, very simply, we have AI built in so it can help you write. So it can help you write headlines. It can help you write body copy. Super simple. But we're looking at AI for lots of different things. Because if you think about the data that we have as a result of delivering hundreds of thousands of presentations a week on the platform, we know a lot about how people are using their content. Can we surface information for the sales team so that they could be better armed to have objection handling or training? Or what other ways can we leverage what's happening with all that data that we're collecting in order to give them an advantage when they're in the home or when they're training or when they're debriefing with their leaders? We're looking at ways to do that. So not quite there yet, but also on the content creation side, as the tools get better for video, image generation, we're looking at that stuff. Quite honestly, it's not there yet. We served the home improvement market as a primary market for us.
Yeah.
And, we did some early testing of like, give me man on the roof and he come out with like 7 fingers and, 4 feet. And you're like, all right, this isn't going to work.
Is that not okay?
Not okay. Not okay.
Yeah, like
or you
that?
have someone here's the big thing. They're not harnessed under the roof. So sure, you have a man on a roof, right? Looking all great, buff, muscles, right? And then they don't have the safety equipment.
Right.
So it's like, it's all that stuff that we're working on. Little things.
Nice little lawsuit marketing that. Yeah, you
Right?
guys should do this, yeah. But it has come a long way, I will say. I remember in the early days, like, if you guys saw that video of like Will Smith eating spaghetti and his eyes are like falling out and stuff. But now it's like some of these videos that I'm watching, it's crazy where we're going, right? And I'm just like, okay,
It's impressive.
it's very impressive. And I can't remember, I think it's called Moore's Law or Morse Law, where it's like the rate of change at which AI is growing. I think in 2026, it'll be better than and more superior than human intelligence ever will. And that's like creative thinking, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, like everything. And so like, cool. So now that we have these tools and we want to bring them into our business, especially for you with like the presentations, are these metrics and like what's really cool is that you guys have all this data. You've had all this data for like years and years, right? So you want to leverage it.
Yep.
Do you guys leverage the data in real time when they are on these sales calls to handle the objections, or are these just like for like take back some of your trainings? Like how does that kind of work?
The future vision is to handle it in real time.
Yeah.
So imagine a couple of different things. One, so a lot of times when people are using our software, it's in a 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 setting. I'm presenting to you in your home on my iPad. Might have turned my iPad to you. You're interacting with the content. It's not death by 1,000 slides. That's not what we've created. It's
Right.
actually, no one should do that. So if anyone's out there listening and you bore people with 95 slides, like stop. It's terrible. No one likes it. So we want to make sure we're giving that sales team member the opportunity to learn and be prompted with what to go to next. Because maybe we've heard something in the conversation that can educate them to say, skip the next one and go 2 more ahead.
Right.
And we'll give them a way to do that. So we're not doing this yet, but this is the kind of stuff we're looking at because the content is well understood. The sales team's trained on it. It's static in the sense that it's very dynamic and interactive, but it's static in the sense that it's a known set of training. or a known set of pages, how can we better inform the sales rep to know the next best thing to show?
The
So we're
show.
thinking a lot about that because if you have, hundreds and hundreds of iterations per week in your company, and you know that the deals that close at this rate did this thing next when they said that, I mean, it's very almost meta, but it really can, I think it can be a huge value add to our customers.
1000%.
Is there anything you think AI shouldn't be doing, like especially in your business? Like thinking about it is great, but I've like to dive the other way, and I'm like, is there anything that it could do but shouldn't do?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if this is my phrase or not, but human plus tool is greater than human, but tool is not greater than human. And I hear a lot of the talk around AI is that the tools are just going to run everything, right? The AI is going to run everything, which if we're not careful, I mean, I've listened to enough doomsday podcasts on this topic that, maybe that's possible. But I think the important thing is to understand the role that the AI is playing in that human interaction. A lot of what we're doing with sales teams, there is a human relationship, and that final judgment has to be in the human relationship. AI can surface insights and patterns and recommendations, but it shouldn't replace empathy and accountability or ethical decision making. Trust is still built on person to person, especially in high stakes situations. So if you have that, if you're letting AI do all of that, which I would question, because you really need to have the human in the middle still.
Yeah, I've had this conversation so many times in terms of like ethics and morals and like what should handle what. I was in the litigation finance space for 2 years, and a lot of like how that works is like you taking a call, and if they're like, okay, well, an AI can answer it, what happens when, the case that's coming in is a very sensitive case, like a sexual abuse case or something, right?
Totally.
And so like why would you ever want AI to handle that? You really want the empathy from the person on the other end to really be there and like show their empathy and sincerity. And so, yeah, I totally agree, right? Like, and I love that human plus tool is better than human. It's just using the tool in the best way possible to get the outcome. It's all starting with the outcome and then just kind of reverse engineer from there and using the tool to get the outcome done.
I was at a conference last week, and we had our booth or table or whatever you want to call it, and this guy's walking around, and he's stopping at every vendor. Do you guys do AI? And if they didn't do AI, he would just move along. So he comes to ours, and he's like, "Do you have AI?" And I'm like, "Well, what problem are you trying to solve?"
Yeah. What's the outcome?
He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Well, then what's the question?" I was
Yeah.
like, "You're asking the wrong question, guy. I
Yeah.
need to know what problem you have, and then I can tell you if we have a solution
Yeah.
that can solve your problem. If
Yeah.
you're just searching for AI, you're going to spend a lot of money, and you're going to be really unhappy because you don't actually have a problem defined that the software is going to solve. I mean,
Problem is
AI
fine.
AI can inform, but it can't earn trust. Only people can do that.
That's fair. I think it's funny. I thought you were gonna say that he was just trying to like sell people on AI when he was
No.
going booth to booth. I thought that was the way it was going, but he was
He
just looking for
clearly
help.
came to the conference in search of AI solutions, and you're like, okay, it's just not a good. It's not a good question.
But you know what's interesting though? Like you talked about like AI, can't do empathy and or shouldn't, and like only humans can really build trust and stuff like that. I do find though a lot of people try to have conversations with AI to get that. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've heard like friends and like friends of friends and stuff like that, like using AI as like their
Moral
emotional
support.
support.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're trying to get empathy. They're trying to understand situations
Yeah.
and
And on
sometimes
top of that, too, they'll pick different models based on what's telling them better things. So they're trusting that model more. Like, oh, I like Claude more because, and like
It
my
understands
fiance.
me.
It's crazy. Like Dan and my fiance, it's ChatGPT is a her. She's named her, and like that, she'll have conversations with her. And I'm like,
Oh
babe,
my
what do you
goodness.
do?
right? So I don't know. Like I think people are definitely trying to use it, but I agree in the fact that like it's at
I
the end
wonder
of
if
the
that's
day,
just
it's an
how they're
L.
wired in general. Like they go around to their friend group in the same way.
Hmm.
Like, because I
True.
wouldn't. That's just not my personality to go and seek that kind of counsel. I wouldn't seek the counsel from a AI bot because I'm not probably seeking that counsel from random strangers either. But
Yeah. I don't know if part of it for me is also it's just like
It's not
If
random,
it's
bro.
prideful, well, if it's prideful, I'm like, I'm human. Like I should be able to figure this out. Like,
Yeah.
like it's an emotional thing. I'm a human, so I should be able to just like,
Yeah, totally.
sort this out. But anyways, just an observation that I noticed among like friends and family and stuff like that who are
Totally.
trying to use AI. So
Yeah, yeah. My concern too, I know, yeah. My concern is how much less trust do we start to have in ourselves as we rely more and more on AI, especially for things like this too.
Yeah, to me, this is my standard answer on AI. Whenever friends ask me, like, do you guys use AI in your business? I'm like, the thing that AI helps me with, it solves the blank page problem. I'm
Mhm.
not good with a blank page. I never have been good with a blank page. You give me something that's there, I can help you make it better. But the blank page is just, it's a lot for me. Sure, I've solved a lot of blank page problems, but it gets me started, right?
Right.
There's nothing better than firing up ChatGPT, going for a walk and having a conversation with it to spar and think through a topic for sure. And it gets me on the path to really understand, okay, this is what I think that the answer should be, or this I problem solved, or at least I got off of the home plate and I'm
Yeah,
on the field now and I'm thinking in a whole different way. To me, it's a great sparring partner.
it is.
Yeah, it's not everything. No technology is everything.
agreed.
No, it's not. Yeah. Yeah, the brainstorming, the just jamming out, trying to just bounce ideas off, sparring. I love how you said that. It's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. And man, I think let's. We like to wrap usually with one interesting question. Sometimes maybe a little bit like, oh damn. But if today was your last day, there was no tomorrow. What's one piece of business or life wisdom you would want to leave behind?
Wow. That's a heavy one. I mean, first and foremost, love the people around you, right? You always hear this. The people are on their deathbed. They're not going to wish they spent more time at work. That's for darn sure, right? I would say, build things that help people make better decisions, right? And then treat those people around you like they matter more than the outcome that you're working on.
Yeah.
I coach athletes. My hope for them, my hope for my children is they don't look at me as someone who just had rules for them. That the things that we did together, while the outcomes are important, we're working hard
Yeah.
to do something, but they understand that their growth and who they are as people matter way more than what we accomplish together, right? I mean, titles in business are going to fade, products are not going to be here. The way you make people feel and the clarity you give them, that's going to stick with them for a long time.
It's everything, man. How you impact people, right?
Yeah.
What is the impression you leave behind? I love that. Guys, Dean, man, thank you so much for coming on. It has been a pleasure talking to you. Guys,
Yeah.
thank you so much for listening. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Dean, is there anything that you'd love to leave with the audience? Any plugs, anything that you'd like to leave in before we kind of take everything away here?
Yeah, I mean, I assume if anybody's new, they don't know me, I'm sure these guys will put my contact stuff and all the show notes and stuff. I mean, to me, I had a long career at a very big tech company. And a lot of people always ask me, like, why did you ever leave? And to me, it's all about the ability to influence and impact where you are. And when you feel that you can't do that anymore, it's probably a good time to think about doing something else.
Love that. Dean, man, thank you so much for being here, guys. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. You can leave us a rating and a review. I don't know what it does, but I think it helps. And Dean, man, it's been a pleasure. Got to have you back on, and I will see y'all in the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Super Sass Bros with Corey and Jade. We'll see you next time.